about that right now. Take the All Financial Group Tax Challenge and find out. There's no charge. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
KMOX, your go-to for family-friendly discussions of topics that matter to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Who's coughing? Is that you?
Someone in the crowd.
Oh.
Hear this? Oh, did you hear that? That was Parkway Central's concert last night at Logan University. Those are high schoolers.
That's good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's good.
So I want to shout out to Parkway Central, their concert choir, the Voices of Parkway Central, the Parkway Central Orchestra. It felt like I was like in a orchestra of adults. I forgot they were high school kids. It was beautiful. Anyway, shout out to them. It was at Logan University, which, by the way, has an insane campus. Chiropractors are doing pretty well these days.
Oh, yeah, Logan?
Oh, my gosh. I've never seen that campus
I think
before.
It's Logan and Palmer are the two biggest in the country, right? Two biggest chiropractic schools in the country.
It makes sense because
I don't know where Palmer is.
Is
it in Texas?
This was a huge theater, like a beautiful stage and a beautiful facility. And I'm like, man, and maybe they rent it out like they do tonight, or maybe chiropractors sing a lot, but I had no idea. It was gorgeous.
Palmer is in Iowa, by the way.
Oh.
So yeah, Logan's one of the two largest in the country. It's
beautiful.
I when I moved here right after graduation from college, I made a couple of friends who were in chiropractic school, not from anywhere near St. Louis. So people are coming from or were coming from all over. We were talking about the Rams settlement money and the proposal that's being given today by Mayor Tashara Jones, the Board of Aldermen, and what they're going to do with that money and how the city is transformed. In fact, it's called Transform STL Act. We are hoping that big things come from it, at least something tangible that we can look to several years from now and say, yeah, they got that money and something good came from the Rams leaving town and, setting fire to the place on the way out. But we'll find out, I guess. The press conference is supposed to have started at 10 o'clock. Let's get to your thoughts at 314-436-7900. Colin is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Colin.
Good morning. I agree with Amy. I don't trust giving the schools any more money because they waste it all. It's so depressing living in the city and having the tax money just get wasted between the schools and the not picking up the trash. It's just the basic things that drives me crazy.
Yeah, appreciate the phone call, Colin.
I think that's the key is if you feel like you can't trust the city leadership in small things, why would you feel that you could trust them in a big transforming thing? Yeah,
well, here's what I would say about school funding, just that in itself. I don't believe that taking funding away from public schools is an answer. You just have to have better leadership. You have to have better people who are good at spending that money, allocating it appropriately, because no school system is going to improve by taking away funding. I would say that. Let's talk to Rick, who joins us from Illinois. Hello, Rick.
Yeah, good morning.
What's up?
Oh, I was talking about the Rams money. What I think they should do with it is buy one of the parking garages downtown and make it absolutely free to come for the Cardinal games, to go see the Arch, whatever they're doing down there. People love free parking. Make the city look better, and then also put in a visitor center, which we don't have. Maybe in Forest Park, where you can give out coupons for all the various attractions, restaurants throughout the entire city.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, I will say this: we do have in Forest Park, the visitor center in Forest Park, which has all the information of everything that's in the park, like the zoo, the art museum, the history museum, and so forth. And would you say that the Arch, the Jefferson Expansion visitor center that they just redid, that's kind of like the visitor center for the city of St. Louis? Maybe it's just the Arch, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's pretty specific to just the Arch grounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice in there. I know that. The renovations they've done over the last decade, pretty nice. I don't think look, I understand the free parking thing, and yeah, of course, everybody loves free parking. Nobody likes to pay for parking. I don't think that's the thing preventing people from coming into the city, because if they have something to do, they are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to do it. You have to have something attractive that people want to come down and do. So like when we have the the winter and now it's escaping me what it's called, but when they do Keener Plaza, they have the Winter Festival, all of that stuff. When you have the fair in the summer downtown, people are coming in for it. And yeah, of course, nobody wants to shell out $20, $25, $30 to park, but I don't think that comes with going to a city.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's keeping people from coming downtown. I think, of course, the big one we haven't really talked about is crime and public safety and feeling safe. And this money, as it's allocated, again, more questions need to be asked. How does any of this money go to offering more competitive salaries for city police officers? Does any of this money open up to the fire department? Will this money continue to fund the training and hiring of 911 dispatchers? Because like I said, all things being equal, if you are thinking about living in Chesterfield or living in the city of St. Louis, and let's say they're exactly the same, whether it be crime or restaurants, whatever it is, they're exactly the same. If only one of them has a reliable 911 dispatch service and enough police officers and enough firefighters. I'm living in the place that has the reliable 911 dispatch police officers and firefighters. Same with trash pickup. So I do think basic services need to be fulfilled.
This texter says, in recent years, we've revamped Kiel Auditorium, Chaffetz, the Dome, the Foundry, Armory. We have the new Busch Stadium, the Grove, Cherokee Street, all of that, not to mention improvements at the Zoo, Botanical Gardens, Forest Park. All of that has been improved. Those areas have been turned around, but we don't talk about improvements like that. And I think there's a lot of truth to the fact that we really tend to focus on all the awful stuff that's going on, and there's a perception problem. Again, I will say this every time when we talk about crime. Kansas City has very, very similar crime to us, very similar numbers per capita. Nobody talks about Kansas City crime. It's only St. Louis crime. But they are not any safer than we are.
I think the big key is you want the heart.
Perception.
You want the heart. You want downtown to be thriving. I know the other areas can be thriving and they need to, but we need downtown to be thriving.
Of course, but Kansas City does have better perception than we do. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4500 4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
At 10:30, we've got some sun. It's 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. New government data shows that consumer prices went up 0.3% last month. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
You go back to pre-pandemic, I mean, prices have increased over 20%. When you think about it on a cumulative perspective, you haven't got that same increase on your income. And so it's just going to take a long time, or a while, I should say, for that wage number to outstrip inflation where we are right now.
Mix of clouds and sun today with a flurry or two possible. High temperature 39, real feels in the 20s. Low temperatures tonight within a few degrees of 20. Tomorrow some sun and a high of about 40. Right now, sun 36 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Hey guys, Glover here for Michael's Baths. You want a new bathroom for Christmas? Worried you can't get it done quickly? No worries at all. Michael's Baths remodels bathrooms all over the St. Louis region. Like Santa, no home is too far away. When you're ready to remodel your bathroom, call Mike and his team. Family owned and locally owned, always 30 to 50% lower than the competition, with 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ BBB rating. If you can hear my voice, they can come to your home. That's Michael's Baths, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
It's officially the merry season, and St. Louis's Christmas station, 102.5 KEZK, is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Get your holiday fix on the radio at 102.5 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play 102.5 KEZK, or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
This year, Christmas meets the Beatles. You're invited to Let It Be Christmas, the rock opera that tells the Christmas story entirely with classic Beatles songs. It's a St. Louis holiday tradition, now in its 15th season. Yes, here comes the fun. Performances are December 19, 20, and 21 at the beautiful Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. Let It Be Christmas, the gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Tickets available now at MetroTix or the K-Pac box office.
This is Debbie Monterey. Join me and Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the next Business of Family Business.
You know, Debbie, we've been on a win streak here of these great interviews with these families around St. Louis. Bob's strategy with building this business and incorporating his kids and training them. So please join us. I think you'll really learn a lot, and it'll be very enjoyable.
It's Bob and Matt Menendez joining us from Sunset 44 Bistro on the Business of Family Business Saturday at 2 right here on KMOX.
Hey, it's Brady Cook, quarterback at Mizzou. I'm all for Macadoodle's Garden Prairie. We've got a world-class selection of fine wine, beer, and spirits. We've got a drive-thru, and we've got the friendliest customer service in town. Make sure you stop into Macadoodle's before every big game to stock up on bourbon, beer, and seltzer. While you're there, pick up a bottle or two from Macadoodle's world-class wine cellar. Macadoodle's is Missouri. Macadoodle's is fun. Come visit us on Bryan Road, just north of the Page Extension, St. Charles County.
Bernie Nicholas gets the final word during sports on a Sunday morning. Hear what he has to say on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It's Christmas. Baby, please come home.
It's the Chris and Amy show on KMOX with you until 1 o'clock today. And we go to the Quiver River Electric guest line this morning for the first time. And we have a Senate-elect member with us who has proposed a bill. It is SB 72 here in the state of Missouri. And a big part of that bill is to offer a $1,000 bounty to people who basically turn in illegal immigrants if it results in an arrest. So litigation attorney, former Missouri representative, current Missouri representative, and now Senate-elect David Gregory is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Senator-elect. Congratulations on winning that election, and we appreciate you being with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So we have the I think gist of the bill. So explain to us why you believe this is a good idea and what it actually would do.
Sure. So this issue, the illegal immigration issue, it means so much to me because it means so much to the safety of America. This is our country. And as we all know, thanks to Biden and Harris, we have no idea who's here. We have no idea what they're doing. What we do know is we've caught illegal immigrants that are on our terrorist watch list. We've caught illegal immigrants, drug trafficking, human trafficking. We can't sit back anymore and wait for these people to commit a violent crime until we act. So that's exactly what this is, and that's the passion behind it. I have created a bill that essentially creates a state ICE program. That's what it is. It's the state's version of being able to crack down on illegal immigration. And that's the state's way to ensure they're effectively cooperating with ICE as well. So right now, ICE is telling us they need cooperation from state and local law enforcement. They're telling us that. They're asking for it. They're also telling us they're not getting enough of it. They're either getting minimal cooperation or no cooperation at all. So that's a problem. And this bill seeks to establish the framework that will force the entire state to effectively cooperate with ICE. The other thing it does is it establishes the authority for law enforcement to actually make an arrest. So right now, an illegal immigrant can walk right up to a policeman and say, "Hey, I'm illegal, too bad," and the policeman can't do anything about it. Another problem. So that's what this bill seeks to do in a nutshell.
With your bill, one of the elements of it that people have talked about is the $1,000 reward for turning in illegal immigrants. And I know that ICE does have a phone number. They have a number that you can call to report. However, my understanding is that ICE does not offer monetary rewards for people who send tips about illegal immigrants. Is that a big difference between your program and ICE's program, that ICE does not offer monetary reward and yours does?
I don't know where you're getting that, because ICE on their website says we offer cash rewards for tips, and they have on their website a specific part for reporting illegal immigration to the tip line. So it's actually modeled after the ICE tip line. That's all we're doing. We're bringing this to the states, and this bill authorizes the creation of that tip line and allows individuals to report suspected illegal immigration.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I think I did misunderstand that form then. So that is just for, is that for anybody calling in, finding any illegal immigrant, not one that's been specifically, being looked for?
So it is for any reasonable or suspicious activity. It's a hotline, just like any other criminal hotline, and it goes to the Department of Public Safety. At that point, that's it. No citizens have any other say. They can't walk up and demand documentation. They can't do anything but offer a tip, at which point our Department of Public Safety and law enforcement will investigate. If they determine through their investigation that this person is in fact illegal, only the Department of Public Safety can effectuate the arrest, and they can do it either through law enforcement or through a special licensed bounty hunter program.
Do you believe or envision that this could cause a lot of problems for people and maybe have unintended consequences and potentially be abused?
I don't. No more than what could be occurring today. I think a lot of people don't use hotlines. If they do, all they can do is call law enforcement. Law enforcement can't come out and knock on doors, and they're not even allowed today under the law, and they wouldn't be allowed under this, to even do what's called a reasonable suspicious detention, to ask for papers. They're not even allowed to do that. So no, these people, if someone's being reported, they wouldn't even know it. And they would never even receive any contact from any law enforcement unless they are in fact illegal and a warrant is issued.
How would they know unless they go check it out? So how could this not be used to harass people that maybe you got a neighbor, you just don't like them, you don't like what they do, so you call this tip line or you go to the website and you think, hey, I might get $1,000 out of this too. How would that not be abused?
Well, again,
let me ask you: is there a punishment for somebody who phones in a false report?
False reports are already a crime. That's absolutely right.
Oh,
number
good.
one.
Good,
Number
good.
two,
That's
you
good.
can't make false reports, but there are hotlines like this all the time.
No, I mean
that
in
people
your
call
bill.
in.
In your bill, would it be? Is there some sort of punishment for giving a false tip?
It is already the law. So remember, when you draft a bill, you don't draft and repeat every single law in place that is affected. You only draft the parts that you're changing. So that is already, false reports is already an illegal act in the state of Missouri.
With this program through ICE that you mentioned, and I was looking through the ICE website, and like I said, I didn't find or missed the monetary reward, but regardless of that, is there data that shows that this has been an effective program and could be adopted by the states effectively?
Sure. I mean, the data is the proof's in the pudding. We have hotlines all across the state for every kind of crime. We have hotlines all across the country, and they're very effective. The biggest one here is Crime Stoppers. Rewards are a huge part of law enforcement's way of getting serious leads. But the key to this, right? The key to this is that people aren't being harassed. You're not walking up to them. People think, oh, well, I can just walk up and demand documentation, or, bounty hunters are just going to kick in doors and demand proof of things. No, if they do that, they're going to jail. That's not what this is. We are literally taking the current federal program tip line and we're bringing it to the state to augment it. We are supplementing. We are simply providing more resources for what is already being done. This was begun, my understanding, this tip line started under President Obama. President Obama is where this tip line started. And President Obama deported more illegal immigrants than any president today. It's because our immigration process is real. It's because it's wrong to fly in the face of all the legal immigrants who we encourage to be here. And we are thankful they went through our process. That's why we're doing this. We've got to crack down.
Then you were for the border bill that was tanked.
The border bill that was tanked. I guess I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The Senate border bill that was agreed upon months ago.
Oh, are you referring to you're referring in Congress?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
I'm asking David Gregory about this because if we're talking about immigration being a problem needs to be fixed, that was a major step forward. So were you in favor of that? And I know it's out of I know you're not in the United States Congress, but you would have been in favor.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm going to be in favor of anything that strengthens our border. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't be strong enough. We've got to be strong. If people are coming here truly seeking asylum, we need to have them come through the port of entry. You don't seek asylum while you sneak around walls and get driven by drug cartels to secret locations to sneak in with backpacks. That's not truly seeking asylum. Come down the paved road through the port of entry, turn yourself in, show us who you are, and you're welcome seeking asylum. There's so many good programs we have. We're not going to allow people to sneak around, and then when they eventually get caught, try to play games to suggest they're here for good reason. That's not how it works.
Also, you have I understand that you did say earlier that they are committing crimes and we are in danger because they are here, when the numbers suggest that it is not immigrants are not responsible for crimes as much as United States citizens are, that they are much less likely to commit a crime. And we also know that there are a lot of businesses, agriculture, construction, that probably rely on workers who are undocumented. What do you say to people who run those types of businesses and might have difficulty finding labor if something like this were to go through?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, bypassing our hardworking American labor force for cheaper illegal labor is not a good argument for ignoring our immigration laws. It's not. It is absolutely a terrible argument. I believe in our American labor force, and I think that they deserve the job before illegal labor. That's a problem. It's a terrible argument. Absolutely
Well,
terrible.
so then why don't American citizens take those jobs?
Well, I don't know. If American citizens, they do. I don't think that that's actually a real question. I believe if employers are looking for cheaper labor and are secretly employing illegal immigrants, that's on them. Shame on them. That's already against federal law. They're not allowed to be doing that. They should be going to American workers seeking American labor.
Yeah, I think too, being very concerned about the border and wanting orderly immigration for not only the safety and security of Americans, but also for the migrants themselves. Finding order at our southern border, vetting who is coming into this country. I think one of the most concerning things is that Border Patrol is so overwhelmed. So we don't know who's coming into this country, and I think there are so many families looking for a better life, and there are others who are just crossing into the border illegally at more malicious intent. Absolutely. And so are you noticing that you in the state of Missouri and other technically non-border states are feeling that they have to take action because they feel like the federal government is not doing enough to protect the country?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, under the Biden-Harris administration, they're not doing a thing.
Well, the border bill,
President
again,
Trump's
they endorsed it.
Well,
Okay.
There were historic numbers of illegal immigrants.
Hold on, stop.
Ron,
you can't say they didn't try to do something at the end when they did, and it was tanked by the incoming president.
I guess what I'm saying is you
let's
can't
not be
point to that
disingenuous.
as the only reason why we have historic numbers of illegal immigrants crossing the border to the point that it's creating
Again,
a humanitarian crisis for the immigrants
They had a border
themselves.
bill agreed upon, and it was tanked by the incoming president because it was bad politically for him.
Well, this is either way. This is why I believe Senate-elect David Gregory has proposed this bill, is to try to take action. And again, I'm concerned about the border. And like I said, I think, wanting to understand the bill more. Thank you for coming on, because I will admit at first I had some concerns because it sounds like are people going to be targeted? And I familiarize myself more with the ICE program and know how this works. But at least for sharing the information, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful coming on, and I think it's an issue that needs to be met with a lot of precision. This is not something to take a shotgun approach with. It's real. It's a real crisis, and it is very real to the American people, overwhelming amount of American people. So we need to do this. We need to get serious about it, but we do need to do it right. There are still legal processes. We can't allow harassment. We can't allow illegal arrests. No way. Not under my watch, not under my bill, but we will get serious on cracking down on illegal immigration.
Missouri State Senator-elect David Gregory out of District 15. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. If you have thoughts on what you just heard, you're welcome to leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. You can also text us 314-436-7900. This is KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Listen, you have been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher. That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the Truehold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to Truehold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out, Truehold.com.
Nominations for the 2025 Women of Achievement are now open. This St. Louis Area Award is the oldest ongoing program in the area, whose sole mission is to honor and recognize the volunteer service and volunteer leadership of women. If you know an outstanding volunteer in the St. Louis metropolitan area, or if you are one, Women of Achievement wants to hear from you. Nominations, including self-nominations, may be submitted now through January 11th. For more information, head to KinghamOX.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too, to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose, paid for by Bayer.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or NewboldBMW.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Steel holiday savings are here. Make room under the tree for gifts at the top of their wish list. Power up the holidays with great deals on long-lasting tools. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at SteelUSA.com.
I'm Rachel Zimmerman. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
I don't know if you saw this, but President-elect Donald Trump has described the Prince of Wales, Prince William, as a good-looking guy. So he met with him in Paris over the weekend, and Donald Trump said this, quote, "He looked really very handsome last night. Some people look better in person. He looked great. He looked really nice," and I told him that. And so the headline is that Donald Trump says Prince William looks better in person. which is funny that he would say that, and also funny because I think maybe it's something we've all thought before, like, well, maybe he looks better in person.
Prince William?
Yeah.
Who's seen Prince William in person?
Well, no one, but I think Prince William, there's something about him and you think, well, I mean, it's not like you're like blown away by traditional beauty standards, right? Whatever that is worth with Prince William. And I feel like maybe he is one of those guys that looks better in person. I feel like I'm being so mean right now.
I knew somebody who insisted that all people look better in photos or on film than they do in person. And I was like, no, that's not. Some people look better that way. I know a couple of people who look incredible when you take a photo and then you see them in person and it's okay. But I know the other kind too, the opposite.
Well, and you always say, so, okay, this is two realities, and maybe it's because Hollywood people aren't real. They're superhuman. But like you said, if we were to see Margot Robbie, or I would say Zendaya, I love Zendaya. If we saw them in person, we would be stunned into silence by their beauty.
Yeah.
But even though they're incredibly photogenic, but I also know people like you said who look like totally different in photos, like they're very photogenic, and then in person you're like, oh, was that a filter? Which again is so mean. But I think, isn't that the whole online dating shtick, is that you could see an attractive photo of someone, but you don't really know what they look like?
Well, I think there are some people who just, and I'm not talking about filters, but there are some people who just naturally, for whatever reason, are photogenic. And even if you catch them in a moment, they look really good in photos. Then you see them in person and they're okay. But it's not like they are in photos. And I don't know what there's some sort of magic.
I think I hope I'm very unphotogenic. My dad would always say, I'm like, oh, take another one. He goes, well, I don't know what you think you look like, but this is pretty accurate.
Dude. That's not nice. Did you see that there's a Broadway revival of Glengarry Glen Ross? And this is actually very old news, but I just saw it.
Welcome to the party. Late to the party.
Very late to the party.
Yeah.
Because Bill Burr is in it. He plays. So if you've seen the movie with Alec Baldwin, he plays Ed Harris's part. But also in this is Bob Odenkirk and Kieran Culkin. This is like this is a pretty star-studded Broadway production.
When did the Broadway show start?
Well, so it's opening in spring 2025.
So it's not that old news. It hasn't even opened yet.
Well, the news came out in August, but I saw Bill Burr tweet about it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay.
Wow. What a lineup.
I'm not really into Broadway, but I think I would really like to go see that.
I feel like those are people that you would be interested in seeing. It would reach a non-Broadway audience.
Definitely. I love Bob Odenkirk. He's the best. That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. Again, reach out to us, 314-436-7900. We have a behavioral neuroscientist joining us next because you have brain rot, and we're going to tell you what that is next.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember. Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right. They handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-221-6319. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319. Or oxcarcare.com.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Life without hearing aids can be frustrating.
Andy, did you hear what she just said?
No, I'm sorry. What did I miss?
I said I got the promotion, Dad. I thought you would be excited.
You're missing out on the important moments of your life because you just can't hear them. It's time to try the Jabra Enhanced Select 500, our smallest, most advanced hearing aid. With proprietary speech clarity technology, even the most complex listening situations like a noisy restaurant are crisp and clear. And you can get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional care you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. Get Jabra Enhance over-the-counter hearing aids and stop missing the important moments. Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
What's your favorite way to spend time? With family, friends, grabbing some alone time because you need a little space from your family and friends? One thing's for sure, it's not an unexpected stay in a hospital. Unfortunately, last year, flu and COVID hospitalized 1.3 million adults, and nearly 1 million of them were 65 or older. So get your updated vaccines, and don't let flu or COVID interrupt your life. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
It is 11 o'clock in mid-America. We've got some wind out there, 37 degrees downtown at the Arch. Inflation rose slightly last month.
Inflation edged up last month. In another sign, some price pressures remain persistent. Consumer prices rose 2.7% in November from a year earlier, up from a yearly figure of 2.6% in October. But measured on a monthly basis, they were up 0.3%, the biggest such jump since April. More expensive used cars, hotel rooms, and groceries fueled the rise. The report comes a day after President Biden touted efforts to ease inflation from its peak 2.5 years ago.
I'm making the next president with an inflation rate that's near 2%.
The relatively mild increase likely will not be enough to stop the Federal Reserve from another interest rate cut next week. Sagar Magani, Washington.
When will St. Louis Public Schools get to work fixing things?
There are no work sessions in December, but SLPS says it will take up recommendations from Tuesday's internal audit starting in January. On the list, finalizing or approving board meeting minutes, something that has not been done in over a year. Board Vice President Mike Davis.
We've been aware that we've been dropping the ball on that.
Davis says the board wants regular reporting from an internal auditor.
Previously, the internal auditor only reported to the superintendent, so we really never knew what that person was working on or what the results were.
The internal auditor position has been vacant since the firing of Superintendent Keisha Scarlett. Davis says the board will look to fill that and mix in some outside consulting for future audits. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The board's future may not include Matt Davis. He tells KMOX that he has not decided if he will run for school board again in April. Filing opened yesterday. Daniel Penny speaks out after his acquittal in the subway chokehold trial involving Jordan Neely.
Daniel Penny tells Fox Nation host Janine Pirro that Jordan Neely, the mentally ill man on a New York subway, was threatening to kill people.
Well, he could, if I just let him go, I'm on my back now. He can just turn around and start doing what he said to me. So killing.
The Marine veteran was acquitted in the subway chokehold death and says he wouldn't have been able to live with himself had he not acted and something happened, even though Neely did not become physical with anyone.
I'll take 1 million court appearances and people calling me names and people hating me.
The case becoming a flashpoint with protests erupting after the verdict. Neely's father now suing Penny in civil court over his son's death. Julie Walker, New York.
Expect another record breaker this holiday season.
According to AAA, more than 119 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home for the holidays. That's about 3 million more travelers than last year and beats the previous record year of 2019. Between December 21st and January 1st, nearly 90% of travelers will hit the road driving, but airports are bracing for another record flying season as well. Some people are choosing vacations. Domestic cruise bookings up 37% compared to last year. For those of you driving, the busiest days on the road expected to be the weekend before Christmas and New Year's Day. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, a hack hangover at Starbucks.
Things are back to normal at Starbucks. 3 weeks ago, its software was hacked by a vendor, forcing the company to keep track
track of schedules the old-fashioned way, by hand. A spokesperson for Starbucks worked with the third-party software supplier to restore access to the scheduling app. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine, blustery and cold this afternoon with a flurry or two around, a high of 39. AccuWeather real field temperatures will be in the 20s. Partly cloudy, cold tonight, lows close to 20. Chilly with some sun tomorrow, high 40. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We've got wind and 36 in St. Peters, 37 Florissant, and 37 degrees downtown at the Arch. That wind's out of the west at 15, gusting up to 28. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
This segment of the Chris and Amy Show is brought to you by the Hot Stove Cafe, where every rumor comes with a side of fries.
Wanna see you work your body. When you roll it in the party, everybody put up their hands. I get a half a meal for my beach, you get a couple grand. Never gon' see the day that I ain't got the upper hand. I'm respected from California, way down to Japan.
Well, we are told, allegedly, that these are the dulcet tones of Skibidi Toilet.
I don't think that's Skibidi. I don't think they're called Skibidi Toilet. Skibidi Toilet is a thing.
It's a guy.
It's a YouTube something.
It's what the kids these days are paying attention to. That's why you may hear
It's really weird.
Skibidi Ohio Riz.
It's like an army of toilets or something attacking humankind. It's the weirdest
thing. The thing is, if any hope, I think, even the 10-year-olds, even Gen Alpha knows that Skibidi a Toilet is ironic and stupid. But to see if we are on our way to idiocracy and humanity is doomed, is Dr. Kyra Bobinet, a behavioral neuroscientist and author of Unstoppable Brain, the brain science behind brain rot, why digital overload feels so draining. Dr. Bobinet, I guess speaking of brain rot, did I say your first name correctly?
You nailed it. Yes.
Okay. As I realized, here I am, the illiterate radio host, introducing our guest, and I have brain rot. So, for our listening audience, and I'm guessing those who have children or grandchildren the age of Gen Alpha might have heard of Skibidi Toilet, and those who do not might be wondering what in the world did they just hear. And it's just a like Ron said, a goofy toilet YouTube show. I guess my first question is that a sign of brain rot if your kids like Skibidi Toilet?
Yeah, I don't know specifically. I'm not going to pick on anybody's content for sure, but I think what we're really trying to get to is that that we have kind of a race to the bottom of the brain stem, as Tristan Harrison says, and the main thing that we should know about our brains is that there's this new area that controls everything called the habenula. And it basically is a failure detector or a negativity detector. So if there's Skibidi Toilet is a negative experience because either you notice that you don't really enjoy it afterwards, or you kind of regret, watching the videos or taking those in, then you have a decrease in your motivation. So this area of the brain looks for negativity, and if it finds it, then it kills your motivation to keep trying. And so when we talk about brain rot, we're talking about basically like we looked at something or we took in something and then we regret it or it didn't serve us well. That's a negative experience. And then we lose our motivation for life, for living our life in a good way. And so I think that's really what we're dealing with here is loss of motivation.
Wow.
Okay, so Dr. Bobinet says Skibidi Toilet is stupid, and anybody who likes it is stupid. Okay, I'm writing that down.
That's libel.
I'm writing it down. So,
can you define?
I knew it was risky coming on.
Yeah.
Can you define brain rot? Like as I just brought it up, and we're talking about it. Is that the definition of brain rot? The definition that you just gave about losing motivation?
Yeah, it's kind of a garbage term in the sense of, it's not scientific necessarily, but what we're really talking about is our experience of our brain being sharp and concentrated and enjoying our life, that kind of thing, versus, really wasting our energy, wasting our time, all that kind of stuff that really creates this feeling of inattention and distraction and addiction to things that we wish we wouldn't use or take in.
So we do this, I feel like, every generation, where we say, okay, this is the end here, these kids today, and they
Right.
don't get it. But there is something that feels a little different than past generations because of the technology we have access to. Is that true, or are we just doing the thing that we do every single generation where we worry about the incoming one?
Yeah, I think that this is why knowing this part of your brain is so important, because if we know how our bodies work, if we know how our brain works, then we can be in control of it. But in the past, TV, standard TV, that kind of stuff was, somewhat distracting, somewhat impactful to somebody's concentration, getting their homework done, having a loving relationship, those kinds of things. But we have put that to a whole new level with the most recent media. There's all kinds of neuroscience around how media is addictive. Doom scrolling, for example, has been shown to turn on this area of your brain, the habenula. And again, you have a generation of people who have lost motivation because they are taking in media that is very addictive and on purpose disempowering them so that they continue to use the drug, if you will. And so there's a lot of scientists, I'll say, on the dark side who figure these things out and who create these very almost like casino-like environments for brains so that we don't get our work done, so that we don't think deeply, so that we don't connect deeply, and we're just kind of eating fast food media. And so I do think there's a real difference between today's media and also the accessibility of it. You never used to carry it with you to the store. You would have to turn the TV off and then you'd be by yourself with your own thoughts going to the store. So the ubiquitousness, the portability of it, all those things are very different now.
This is I just feel a bit stunned hearing you explain what it is that doom scrolling does, that these shows like Skibbity Toilet do, how it's the habenula.
The habenula is, it's in charge of your negativity, it's in charge of your motivation, your dopamine, your depression. It causes depression and anxiety when it's on. It causes OCD. It generates addiction because it's the thing that hurts when you are withdrawing from your whatever you're using as an addiction. So if it's a media addiction, when you stop using media and you get all twitchy, this is the area of your brain that's causing that discomfort.
It's blowing my mind. It hurts my heart. And I know that I have suffered from this, addiction to your phone because I grew up without a smartphone. I could read for hours. I would read 8 hours a day. I'm not even joking. And now it feels like an effort to read. And sometimes I grab my phone and I start doom scrolling in the middle of reading without realizing it. So if the social media and these types of shows and whatever it may be are affecting me, how do we not feel hopeless for younger generations?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of awareness. We're in the awareness phase of this where we're like, oh, the kids are not okay. I'm not okay. To your point, like I used to be able to do this and now I can't anymore. And so that's why I think this information about what it exactly is that's pinpointing the problem. In my research on people who are able to change their behavior long term and keep that going, they had one thing in common, which is that when they reached an obstacle, like, they can't read 8 hours a day anymore, they would iterate instead of fail. And so the iteration means that you're tweaking it, they're tinkering, maybe you can set a little limit to yourself around what you want to read and then stretch that and then stretch that. Maybe you get in a group of people who are reading all together. Maybe you go to the library, so it's an environment and you can't have a phone or something like that where you're iterating on what's going to work for me, what's going to get me going in the direction that I want.
So is this the sort of thing that, especially when it comes to younger people, that we're going to have to legislate? Because I feel like if you just if we just trust parents to do it on their own to make sure their kids aren't on social media all the time or on the phone all the time or whatever, it won't work. So do we have to take measures like that? I know the state of Missouri is proposing, like, for instance, cell phone bans at school. Does stuff like that have to be done?
Yeah, I think we're kind of at the place of, when alcohol was served to children in the 1800s. And at some point, people were like, oh, this is not good for their brains. They're not coming up in a good way. Those kinds of things that the adults have to get together and figure out, how do we protect the children from something that their brain is not ready for? And actually, we have this live experiment going on that's changing their brains, because the brain is very neuroplastic. It changes in response to our environment. And so we don't really know how these kids are going to turn out. We don't really know what the consequences are. We just see these symptoms of, too long didn't read, attention span less than a goldfish, those kinds of things that we're again in the awareness phase. And then I think we'll go into discussion and a policy and try to help that situation.
What is the effect of brain rot, not just on their ability to concentrate, but critical thinking and analytical thinking?
Yeah, I think that it is unfortunately taken a downturn, because I think that we need to have that really kind of boredom, if you will, and the brain tolerating boredom in order to critically think about things, in order to think of things as more than one truth, more than one side. And the over reductionism, the oversimplification is part of that brain rot, where we're just taking the easy way out. We're just taking the easy thing. I would say the hope is that we tend to correct as a society. The reason why we're not all eating fast food for every meal and, having a great time with that is that we realize that our bodies need more nutrition than that. And so it can be an occasional thing. And so I think as this thing right sizes and we put some breaks in place, that we can prevent ourselves and our children from going too far with these opportunities, these media that we consume right now.
It's funny you say that. Just yesterday, we were talking about how I've noticed, like, if you're looking at Instagram stories, for example, and they post a movie scene and they might post like a minute of the scene, the comments, like all the comments are, what happens next? Like, tell me how this ends, instead of like, maybe I should go watch this thing. Like, maybe I should go watch this movie and see how it ends. And movies in themselves, probably not the best form of media to consume, but there's very clearly an attention span thing where people don't want to sit from start to finish. They just want to be told what the end game is. So that can't be good.
Yeah, I think we're failing to have any sort of appreciation for patience and for process. We're just trying to get to the end. And that in my research, we have a very performative society. I'm performing for you, you're performing for them. Like, all that kind of stuff is really causing us to be performers instead of humans. And so I think that as we, again, go into the policy phase of this, we're going to find ways to really bracket our lowest tendencies and to get us into those higher states. I think one easy way to do that is to engage in an activity, whether it's flow state around theater or music or sports or those kinds of things, where you're doing it with others and you can't shortcut that. And again, if the phones are not a part of that, my husband goes to improv class on Saturdays, loves it, and there's no phone use during the improv class because you're fully engaged in the moment and the time kind of takes over instead of you taking over the time.
Dr. Kyra Bobinet, we really do appreciate it. This is very interesting stuff, and we know that we're going to have to figure it out, or we will turn into an idiocracy. So thank you very much for talking with us today.
I have hope. Thank you
And
so much.
I will not tell people what you said about Skibbity Toilet.
Well, I just bought her book.
Okay.
Unstoppable Brain, the new neuroscience that frees us from failure, eases our stress, and creates lasting change. Just bought it. I'm going to figure it out. I don't want to become an idiot.
Well, you won't now that you talked to Dr. Bobinette reading the book. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time. And yes, I do think there is, Amy, and we can talk about this a little bit more, and people are free to weigh in themselves, 314-436-7900, or leave a message on the Odyssey app. There's something a little different about this than we used to get worried about certain books that were written 100 years ago. Oh, the kids today, they're reading these books and it's smut. This is different. There's something different about what's going on now.
It is, and it's scientifically proven,
Yeah.
and I can say evolutionarily proven, whatever you want to call it. It's changing our brains.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Life without hearing aids can be frustrating.
Andy, did you hear what she just said?
No, I'm sorry. What did I miss?
I said I got the promotion, Dad. I thought you would be excited.
You're missing out on the important moments of your life because you just can't hear them. It's time to try the Jabra Enhanced Select 500, our smallest, most advanced hearing aid. With proprietary speech clarity technology, even the most complex listening situations like a noisy restaurant are crisp and clear. And you can get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional care you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. Get Jabra Enhance over-the-counter hearing aids and stop missing the important moments. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. All week, join me, Mike Claiborne, and Ricky Horton as we are live in Dallas for baseball's winter meetings. It's a pivotal moment for the Cardinals as they go through a reset, and it could be an active winter meetings for the club. We'll be there to react to any move the Cardinals might make while bringing you exclusive comments from club leadership on air, online, and on social media. KMOX live in Dallas for baseball's winter meetings. Brought to you by Goodwill. Give local, give hope, give goodwill.
Join the internationally acclaimed Ambassadors of Harmony live in concert December 13th through the 15th at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Come see why thousands make this their Christmas tradition. Tickets are on sale now at AOH.org. Be filled with the Christmas spirit. 4 shows only December 13th through the 15th. It's the Ambassadors of Harmony live in concert. Purchase tickets online at AOH.org today. If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know it can be stressful. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. This is Debbie Monterey, and if you need to sell and buy at the same time, this message is for you. Gloria Liu has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program that gets you the most money possible for your current home and then allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles or settling. Gloria Liu makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. So why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best? The name to remember is Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day come to a physical office and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Tune into the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at 11 a.m. or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
Discussing what matters to you. Your family, your money, your health. KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, you two. I wanted to respond to the state senator. The reason why there's so many immigrants, illegal or non-illegal, they are working hard in a labor force. The American labor force does not want to do roofs. They don't want to pick vegetables. They don't want to cut yards. They don't want to do a whole lot of this stuff that costs time and effort. Everybody wants to sit at a computer and do their job. That's my opinion.
That is Tim leaving us a voice message on the Odyssey app. We did talk to Missouri State Senator-elect David Gregory about the bounty bill, which is what it's being called, SB 72, where you can report who's a person you believe to be an illegal immigrant, and if that person is arrested, you get $1,000. There's more to it than just that, but that is in response to it. You're welcome to leave us a message on the Odyssey app as well. And that's been a thing, what Tim said, that has been pretty true, that a lot of American-born citizens just don't want to do those kinds of jobs.
And I think that's why this was during the Trump era when he cut down on, I believe, forgive me, I don't have the receipt in front of me, and I always have receipts, but I believe it was the HB1 visa, the visa that seasonal workers use. I believe it was Trump was cutting down on that. And those visas are so critical for our country, for, whether it's agricultural business, landscaping businesses, all these different businesses that are highly seasonal and have a lot of immigrants working in them. Obviously, you don't want to skirt the law, but then you need to make these HB1 visas, again, I apologize if that's the wrong number, but I believe that, available. That's a huge issue.
This is
What
Mike.
a crock of political gobbledygook, period. My question is very simple. If he's not making superfluous law because there's already law in the books, and if the federal law trumps state law, why are we doing this?
Oh, I think because right now immigration is federal law, and it was the same thing. It's going to depend on the type of law, but generally the southern border is run by the federal government. The same thing with federal gun laws, but you can make state laws, and obviously there's the supremacy clause, but it doesn't stop states from changing things when it comes to sanctuary cities, gun laws, even marijuana.
I guess.
And I don't know the details.
That was Mike, by the way, who left that. I guess my question would be, what evidence do we have that the state of Missouri, and this would be a Missouri law, is negatively impacted by illegal immigrants in a way that we have to do something about it here?
Ranj, I feel your anger and angst at this guy. He sounds like an absolute sleazeball. I mean, come on, it's the Harris-Biden administration. I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, get real, dude. Have a real answer besides that. And also, quick question. If there's a penalty for false claims, what happens when you accidentally call in a tip for someone who's turns out to not be an illegal immigrant? Are you punished for that, or does everybody just get a free pass? I mean, you didn't do it maliciously, but it's still false. So just curious.
That was a question I had too. And he did say that there are already laws against filing a false report. I don't know if it's knowingly filing a false report. because you could just argue, well, I thought
And
he
it-
was illegal, so I called the number or I went to the website.
And it was a quick note because he's like, where did you get your information, Amy, about the reward? So ICE, if you dig into their website, they have the discretion to award some cash money. If you turn in a tip, that is helpful depending on what it leads to. And also it's up to their discretion. They may or may not. It's not out there like, hey,
Here's $1,000.
$1,000, which to me is
do
a concerning incentive.
Yes, just putting it out there like
Yeah.
that invites people to abuse it. We're going to check in with Matt Pauley. The baseball winter meetings are ongoing, and we'll see what the Cardinals are up to today next on KMOX.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost hundreds of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I'd gone from 237 to 195. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get started right now and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0 at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the GelmanTeam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at the GelmanTeam.com.
Broadcasting from the Underlined Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
At 11:30, we've got 38 degrees downtown at the Arch. Authorities say a Wisconsin man who faked his own drowning and left his wife and 3 children and was believed to have been in Eastern Europe has willingly returned to the U.S. after roughly 4 months and is in custody. Green Lake County Sheriff Mark Podol.
He's cooperated with us, came back to the United States, got on an airplane, landed in the United States.
45-year-old Ryan Borgwart is facing unspecified charges that may include obstruction of justice. The forecast is sponsored by Metro Transit. Once complete, the Metrolink Green Line, now 30% designed, will help connect North and South St. Louis City residents to downtown West and Midtown's top job centers for the first time ever. Learn more at MetrolinkGreenLine.com. High today, 43. For tonight, low temperature about 30. Tomorrow, high about 40, but the real feels are going to be in the 20s. At the moment, 38 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
Listen, you have been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher. That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the Truehold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to Truehold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out, Truehold.com.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Hi, this is Matt Pauley. I want to wish you, your friends, and family a very Merry Christmas. I hope this holiday season is filled with joy.
Happy holidays from KMOX.
Yo, Paulie!
Paulie's great, man.
Yo, Paulie!
What'd you do for Paulie? Anything?
Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
This Cardinals report is brought to you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated. Renner Door, STL.com. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line because on Mondays and Wednesdays, feels like a Thursday. Wednesday, we talked to Matt Pauley, who is the host of Sports Open Line from 6 to 8 when there's no ball game going on. And Matt Pauley joins us from the baseball winter meetings in Dallas, Texas. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. So Nolan Arenado, according to reporting today, said he would approve a trade to the Dodgers, Padres, Angels, Phillies, Mets, and Red Sox. Where's he going to go?
That's a good question. I don't know. I was a little surprised that the Yankees weren't on that list because they're a team that's been very much connected to him, and there's been more reporting connecting him to the Yankees since that report came out. So that report also indicates that Boston would be the preferred destination. That surprised me a little bit. You know, some people have kind of balked at the Angels thing because the Angels probably aren't in a position to win. But I guess if you're not going to win ball games, at the very least, you can sleep in your own bed. So I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of insight into this one. It'd certainly be interesting if he ended up with the Mets with everything that they've already done, and all indications are that the Mets are ready to continue to spend. I think the best fit is either New York or Houston, depending on which one of those teams, the Yankees or the Astros, depending on which one of those teams doesn't get Alex Bregman. But based off that report, that might not be happening in either of those spots.
That's really interesting. And again, this could not, it's possible that isn't entirely accurate, that he would in fact approve a deal to the Yankees. Why do you think he wouldn't? Why do you think he would be more interested in the Mets, who are willing to spend? The Yankees historically have been willing to spend to win anyway. Why do you think he'd be interested in one and not the other?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know. I mean, there's more pressure, I think, on the Yankees. There's probably more media attention. There's clearly a ton of media attention on each of those teams. But the Yankees, it is a little bit different being a Yankee than a Met. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with that. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like Aaron Boone. I don't think that's true.
But Aaron Boone seems like he'd be great to play for. I don't know.
Yeah, he would be. Like, that's the point. Maybe there's something small. I don't say that as like a real possibility, but I say that to illustrate that maybe there's just some very small thing that makes him go, you know what? I'd rather not be a Yankee.
What is the fan base, the media criticism, the fan base criticism different for the Yankees than the Dodgers? Because obviously they're both very high profile teams. So what do you think there's a distinct difference between how the Dodgers and the Yankees players are treated or covered?
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to end up with the Dodgers. That's not. He would like to go there, but they say Max Muncy is their third baseman, and that's where it is. And unless they're not being completely truthful, which does happen at the winter meetings, we don't always get 100% candor from these executives. So I don't think the Dodgers are going to happen. But yes, there is a strong difference between the pressure and the media attention and the media scrutiny in New York compared to Los Angeles. Now, comparing Yankees to Mets, they're both in New York, but like I was saying earlier, I think it is a little bit different. I think there's a little less pressure being on the Mets than the Yankees. But every market, every city brings its own unique challenges and own unique benefits to playing there.
Do you think it's because he doesn't want to have to shave his face?
Maybe. Like I said, it could be
you
something.
gotta shave every day.
Yeah. I mean, there's different teams that have different rules. Like in Atlanta and Kansas City, you're not supposed to put sunglasses over your hat. That started in Atlanta.
I have never heard that before.
Oh, really? Okay. So
yeah,
so it started in Atlanta, and then when Dayton Moore went from the Braves to the Royals, he took that with him. I don't think Dayton's in Kansas City anymore. No, he's not. So I don't know if that rule still exists there. But the idea is that when you're on TV,
you want the logo displayed.
Yep. You don't want the sunglasses in front of it. So yeah, I know in Atlanta and Kansas City, they were not allowed to have sun if they're out in the field and it's a sunny day, but the sun goes down or whatever. Next time they go out, don't take the sunglasses, leave them in the dugout.
Maybe in Kansas City, they were afraid people would forget who the Royals are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you
fair.
guys love taking shots at Kansas City.
I didn't take any shots. I didn't say anything.
You agreed. You're complicit.
I don't know what you're talking about. Where was I going to go? Oh, yeah. So
speaking of, get this, guys. I completely lost my train of thought last night on Sports Open Line. So we've got this table. We're right in the middle of the lobby. So like everybody's walking by, and we got a big Cardinal Radio Network sign. Like this is clearly our space. And I'm doing Sports Open Line. I'm live on the air last night, and a dude walks up to our table. He's got an empty glass in one hand and a can in another. He opens up the can, pours the can of whatever he's drinking into the glass, and leaves the can on our table. Like doesn't, and we've got a trash can like less than 10 feet away. And he just and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and everything inside of me wanted me to like stop talking on the radio and ask this guy, "What are you doing? Take your trash, man." And I got very distracted in that moment.
That guy, I love that guy.
You would.
That guy just say, man, he's having a drink. Let him have a drink.
Oh, that's funny.
That's really great.
Okay. Sorry. Well,
I used to dude, I've done shows in tiny bars.
Yeah.
And people are bumping into the table because there's no room for anyone, and they're yelling loud, "Hey, what are you doing down there?"
Yeah,
like,
Matt.
That happens all the time.
Matt, when you broadcast from Ballpark Village at the little KMOX spot in Cardinals Nation, do you constantly get asked to either seat people at a table or
they think you're the host?
The bathroom? Yeah.
Yeah, like, where do I go to get a seat? Where's the bathroom? You know, and we've got a big KMOX sign like right behind us, and we're wearing headsets, and we'll be live, and people will come up to us having no clue what's going on. And then when we inform them that we're actually on the radio and we're not not the hostess at Cardinal Nation Restaurant, it's like we're putting them out. Like, how dare you guys have a broadcast location in a corner of a restaurant where I had to walk past the host table to get to you, but think that you are the host table.
This is deceptive. They shouldn't put a radio station right in the middle of a restaurant.
Amy and I do the show there during day games, or right before day games, whenever they're playing at Busch Stadium, and it's a perfectly lovely spot.
Yeah,
you should come by.
You know, being out in public, it can be. Yesterday, I had one. It was so funny. So I'm sitting here, and there's a guy like maybe 15 feet away from me, and he's kind of mugging me, and I keep looking over, and he keeps looking at me. And there's like a lot of young people here trying to get jobs and so forth, and they'll come up and they'll ask questions. I really enjoy those conversations, being able to talk to people trying to get into the industry. And finally, this guy like gets the nerve to come up and talk to me. So I assume he's just one of those people. And he goes, "Hey, were you the broadcaster for the South Georgia Peanuts? And it's all because when I was the broadcaster for that team, we had a reality show that followed us all year long. And that there's moments of that reality show that went viral. And still to this day, every once in a while, I get recognized. It's probably been a good 4 or 5 years since I've been recognized by that. But yeah, somebody was very excited to meet somebody from the Playing for Peanuts reality show.
You're not supposed to say peanuts on this show because Matt Pajeski is allergic. And if you just saying the word could send him into some sort of shock.
No respect.
Poor Matt.
Every time you say peanuts, I think of Charlie Brown. And I also think of when Ranj didn't enunciate the T.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
By the way, of all of us speaking right now, I am the only person who has actually been in the room as Matt Pajeski has gone into
anaphylactic shock. Oh yeah,
He administered Sudafed to me. Which
Sudafed?
Does Sudafed help?
No.
You mean Benadryl?
No, you thought you did, or you said you did because you thought it would open up some more airways for me to breathe.
Yeah. I went through my bag and I looked for everything that I had medicine wise, and that's all I had, and I gave it to him. You know what? I was trying to help.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What about wait, who had to stab you with the EpiPen?
Andrew Stoles did.
Andrew Stoles saved his life. Was that the same day?
Oh, it was all the same event, same 5 minutes. Yeah.
Wow. You were getting all sorts of stuff.
I was getting medicated. Big time.
What we do as a show, whenever Pajeski screws up, we throw peanuts at him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We do not
Yes,
do
we
that.
do. Yes, we do. We have to just to keep him in line.
That's going to be used in an attempted murder trial one day. That bit of audio.
We're
that you just
documenting
said.
all of this. Matt, did you take your employee engagement survey, by the way?
I did. I wish
Not
I
yet.
didn't.
I really need to
so
do
I can
that.
start
Matt,
over.
Dude, I wish you guys would stop.
Just everyone listening, take your employment engagement survey.
Hey, real quick, there's this Japanese pitcher that John Mozeliak yesterday said they would place a bid for Roki Sasaki, who's very highly touted, and a number of teams are going to go after him. What's the likelihood the Cardinals could end up with him?
Yeah, I think they've got a puncher's chance. I wouldn't put it as a really high probability. The fact that his agent, he's got the same agent as Nolan Arenado, Joel Wolf. Yesterday, Wolf said, you know what, it might make a little bit more sense for him to be in a smaller market. If the Cardinals were at just a little bit of a different place in time, and if they had a little bit better of a reputation in developing pitchers, I would probably have a very different take on this. Now, because this is not a Shohei, this is not a Yamamoto situation where Yamamoto made tons and tons and tons of money being posted out of Japan because he was of a certain age. And once you get past a certain age, you can basically go get paid as much as you want. This kid, Sasaki, he is not of that certain age. So teams are restricted to the amount of money that they have in their international signing bonus pool money, basically. So that's why the Cardinals can be involved in this. If this guy's a few years older, he's getting the same kind of money that Yamamoto got, and the Cardinals are completely out. But because the monetary value on this deal is going to be so much significantly lower, I think the Cardinals have as good of a chance as any of the teams that are not the clear front runners.
And lastly, so the MLB draft lottery was yesterday, and the Cardinals ended up with the number 5 pick overall.
Yeah.
So they had pretty low odds of getting a high pick, and they ended up getting in at number 5. So that's good, right?
That's great news. So essentially they jumped from number 13 to number 5. It's the first time in franchise history that they have had top 10 picks in back-to-back seasons. Last year they moved down. They were in a better spot than they got, and they ended up going to 7, but they got a really, really good player last year in J.J. Weatherholt. You're going to get a very good player at number 5. They've got another extra compensatory pick in there as well. So if you're going through a reset and you're able to just pick in the top 10 in each of in back-to-back years, have that extra pick. And they had a winning record last year. To be coming off a year where you had a winning record and to still get the number 5 pick in the draft, that's a really good thing. And we might be talking about this as being a pretty big moment here down the line.
All right, Matt Pauley, Sports Open Line tonight, or?
Yeah, we've got a few things scheduled for the program that I don't have 100% confirmed yet, so I don't want to give it away. So listen in, and you might be pleasantly surprised.
In the words of John Hancock, there's no telling. There's no telling.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen on the show.
I
right?
can't tell, but yeah, we've got a couple things. Maybe I can say that Bernie Miklasz will be on.
Oh, nice.
At 6:20. But
the most important part, the lines will be open as Sports Open.
Lines will be open.
That's what the people want.
The line of Sports Open. I was talking with Oliver Marmol today.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize how close, like geographically, how close my post-game studio is to the Cardinals clubhouse. And now I am trying to coax him in, much to the chagrin of the Cardinals public relations department. I am trying to coax him in to coming into the studio after a game one day and taking phone calls with me on the post-game show.
You know what? That would be great radio if he were to do it.
It would be amazing.
Yep.
It would be amazing. He was excited when he realized that literally our studio is like 27 steps from the Cardinals clubhouse.
Awesome. You got to do it.
You have to. We're on your side.
Matt Pauley, we have to go now.
All right. Good talking to you guys.
Bye, Matt.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
Matt Pauley checking in live from the winter meetings in Dallas, Texas. Also, we got a texter to 314-436-7900 who sent me a link to Spangler's Circus Peanuts and said, you can throw these at Matt and it won't hurt him.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I don't get no respect at all.
We have someone on our YouTube stream that said Paulie missed a chance to do a play-by-play on the guy with the can.
Yeah, you really should have done that.
Lean into it.
Actually, I can't believe he didn't fight him. You know how he loves to fight?
He's looking for a fight.
It's Chris and Amy. Hey, we do have some Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets to give away for December 18th before the show is over. We'll do that. You got to be listening for your chance to win on KMOX.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Rochelle talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
It was a wonderful experience. I had heard about them on the radio. They come out to your house. They let you know what they do. They let you pick out your features, your colors, and then they come into your home the morning they start. They walk you through, this is what's going to happen, and you leave for a few days, and you come home, and it's done.
Was it easy?
It made it easy because you're not in the middle of a mess for 2 or 3 months. Left on a Tuesday morning, and it was done on a Thursday night. We came home Friday morning early because we were so excited.
What was your reaction when you first saw it?
Wow.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
This holiday season, the Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for their holiday food drive. While supplies last, stop by any metro area Hardee's and make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS holiday bumper sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. Get all the details now about the campaign. Or if you want to make an online donation, head to the KMOX.com events page now.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 Original Bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember. Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right. They handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-221-6319. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319 or oxcarcare.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
I'm Roger Brand, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
What is this? Is this Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Obviously.
This is Chris DeBerg.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned that Christopher Cross and Christopher Cross and Toto and Men at Work are coming to St. Louis.
They are. And that's going to be in August of next
Wow.
year.
I always thought Men at Work, if you said, hey, do you know that band Men at Work? I would say, obviously I do. And then I would picture the Village People because it kind of makes sense. They're all in their work outfits. You know what I mean? The firemen.
You know,
I thought that was Men at Work.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I guess the Indian.
For some reason, I
is at
always
work.
just confuse Toto, Men at Work, and Devo. Devo's the one with the red, weird hats they used to wear.
Yeah.
I don't know why, man.
And if in case you're wondering, Duran Duran did not shoot RFK.
No, that was Sirhan. And it wasn't JFK. It was
said RFK.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, by the way, the
Duran Duran, the guy that shot RFK. No, that's Sirhan.
Yeah, RFK, and I have to go back and find the story, but RFK Jr. is pushing for his niece, I believe, to be the director of the CIA because he wants to get to the bottom of who assassinated his uncle, John
JFK.
Kennedy, and he believes the CIA had something to do with it.
Maybe the CIA could look into why he put the bear in Central Park.
Oh, why RFK did?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what?
JFK did that too? What's with that family?
Right? There's something about them. Yeah, no, it's his daughter-in-law.
Okay.
So RFK Jr. has told people his daughter-in-law would help get to the bottom of the CIA assisting in John Kennedy's assassination. Which, look, I used to be a real conspiracy theorist about the JFK stuff, but I just don't buy it anymore. There's too much evidence that Oswald did it all by himself, and it was much easier than you think it would have been. I think we like to think it had to. If we killed a president, it had to have been this grand conspiracy, but sometimes the truth is just messy and stupid.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think all these things are easier than they should be.
There's no question about that.
You know what's not easy? Getting
Rams settlement money spent? Well, Sean Malone is going to have something to tell us about that. There was a press conference today. Transform STL Act has been announced. It's been proposed. We'll see what Sean Malone has to say about it next on KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Brady Cook, quarterback at Mizzou, for Macadoodle's Darden Prairie, where wine tastings happen all day and friends are made when the door opens. Macadoodles has everything from fan-favorite California cabs to interesting wines from the old world. A wide selection of bourbon and tequila, and basically every spirit you can imagine. Whether you need to stock up the liquor cabinet for your next party, or you're having a cozy night in with a bottle of wine, Macadoodles has you covered. The friendliest staff in town. Come visit Macadoodles on Bryan Road, just north of the Page Extension in St. Charles County.
This is Chad Klayman with KlaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy property in as-is condition. Are you wanting to sell your property, but you don't want to deal with the stress? Many times people sell to us because they want to be a less stressed seller and they want to simplify their solution. We can provide a flexible closing date on your sale, and we can make it easy to sell your property. We can guarantee we'll give you our best offer possible to make a win-win situation. If you have a house you want to sell, simplify your sale, KLAMEN Group.com.
It is 12 noon in mid-America. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got 38 degrees downtown at the Arch. St. Louis unveils a plan to invest the Rams money over the long term, but one key priority expressed by residents did not make the cut.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime generation opportunity that will be used to transform the lives of many generations to come.
That's Mayor Tashara Jones. The Rams money will be split between several funds to repair infrastructure, develop housing in the city, and improve the city's workforce. However, what was missing was the third highest priority, as voted on by St. Louis residents, raises for city employees. Alderwoman Alicia Sanye.
We really did explore, wage workers, but once we found we couldn't do wages, we did want to stop and say, well, that's not a reason to support our workforce. So instead, we began to think innovatively about what are the things that city workers need, that our workforce needs, and that city residents need.
In St. Louis City Hall, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
St. Louis Public Schools continue to operate without a superintendent, but for how long?
Most of the issues addressed in the internal audit released by SOPS circled around the faults of former Superintendent Keisha Scarlett. And though she hired, most left after she was fired, Millicent Borishade stayed on. But she has the full support of Board Vice President Mike Davis.
We worked with her very closely and have been infinitely impressed with her work ethic and her dedication to the school, so much so that we made her acting and now interim superintendent.
Davis doesn't foresee the school board hiring a new superintendent before the April school board election, an election he hasn't decided if he will run for again. In the meantime, the board will be using the audit as a guide to correct financial and human resource mistakes.
Some of those things we've already started on, and that needs to be our focus going forward.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
New government data shows consumer prices went up 0.3% last month. The CPI is a key inflation gauge that could impact the Fed's final rate decision of the year. Kelly O'Grady.
You go back to pre-pandemic, I mean, prices have increased over 20%. When you think about it on a cumulative perspective, you haven't got that same increase on your income. And so it's just going to take a long time, or a while, I should say, for that wage number to outstrip inflation where we are right now.
Moscow is accused of increasing misinformation to stir tensions in the U.S. after Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Intelligence officials say Russian media shared AI-generated pictures claiming the U.S. government is denying people FEMA disaster funds. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell.
There's always been some information out there about FEMA in some way, shape, or form, but the volume that we saw during Hurricanes Helene and Milton was something that I have never seen before.
A manager at FEMA was fired after telling employees canvassing in Florida after Hurricane Milton to skip homes with Trump signs. The family of a 14-year-old St. Louis County teen, Tyree Sampson, who fell to his death from a theme park ride in 2022, has been awarded $310 million by a jury in Florida. The company they sued did not respond to the lawsuit at all. We asked our legal expert, Brad Young, will they collect?
The question is, how do they collect the money? They may have a judgment, but these companies are based in Austria, so judgments would have to be filed in Austria to pursue these Austrian companies. And then there's a question about whether Austrian courts would actually make the companies pay. So there's a lot of work here before we see any money changing hands regarding to this award.
The Dow from Stifels up 76 points.
Partly sunny, blustery, and cold this afternoon with a flurry or two. High 39. AccuWeather real field temperatures will be in the 20s. Partly cloudy down to near 20 tonight, and then chilly with some sun tomorrow. High 40. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies, and we've got 37 degrees in St. Peter's and Florissant. It's 38 at the moment downtown at the Arch. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 16, gusting up to 28. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
The Chris and Amy Show is sponsored by Molina's Catcher's Mitt Oil, keeping your hands golden since 2004.
This bill isn't about large appropriations. It's about opportunities we're given to current and future generations.
Well, at least one good thing came from the Rams leaving town. They gave us a bunch of money. They had to because they were legally forced to because they're a bunch of liars. At any rate, the Transform STL Act was proposed and announced today, and there was a press conference that took place here downtown St. Louis a couple of hours ago. Covering that press conference from the KMOX newsroom, Sean Malone, who is still on site. He is still at the site of this press conference, and he joins us now on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon, guys.
So what did we learn?
Well, we knew going into this that the money was going to be put into funds with the idea of spreading the money out over time and getting more money to kind of make it last longer and have more of it available. Now we got some details about where the money is going and some of the things that were proposed by city residents that the money didn't go to. First off, infrastructure is getting a huge chunk with $100 million of the now $277 million with the interest that's already been accrued, with $60 million going towards city mobility infrastructure, think streets and sidewalks with that, and another 40 towards water, the water department and water lines. Development for housing and neighborhoods also got another $100 million. And then in a third bucket called people, got $77.2 million. $20 million of that is going to go towards workforce development for the city. And another part is going to go to two separate funds to create affordable childcare for the city and affordable post-secondary opportunities for the city. Now, that also, just to clarify, doesn't just mean college education in the city, but if you wanted to learn a trade or something like that when you're done with high school, this could be going towards that as well. to contrast this even further with the previously introduced bill to spend the Ram settlement money, that wanted to spend the money all at once right now in 3 distinct areas of the city: downtown, North City, and Southeast City. This bill is available across the city. Mayor Tashara Jones said at one point when asked about that she doesn't want to be picking winners and losers with this bill, and that it makes it available for the entire city, all these different funds that they're going into.
Well, speaking of that, how it could go to the entire city, Mayor Jones said from Del Mar to Dutchtown to downtown. Was there outlined any framework or parameter for how they would decide which community project is worthy of that money if there's only so much money?
Not necessarily. That detail hasn't been lined out yet, but essentially these funds are going to be managed by public-private, government and citizen kind of overseeing together the different funds that are set up. And basically they're going to have to go through E&A for the things they want to use this money towards. Now, how the money could be used to create access to more money has been previously explained is that, let's say there's a federal grant that's available to help make, more childcare opportunities available in your municipality. And let's say there's a local match that's needed for that, and you need to match $2 million to it. Well, in a lot of cities' cases, they need to raise taxes or find the revenue, find it in general revenue somewhere to make that money work. With this is where they could use that fund that was set up for affordable childcare, use the money that is generated, that revenue that's been generated in interest over time to then be the local match for that grant. So that's how the backers of this bill, Mayor Jones, Aldermanic President Megan Green, Alderwoman Alicia Saunier, that's how they envision this money kind of being stretched out over the long haul, is that it can be used to access more state and federal grants that are available, as I said, without having to raise taxes or find the money lying around somewhere.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I have this clear. The proposal they have now is going to happen, or is there still another step in the process?
There's a lot of steps to get to because this bill needs to be approved. And as we kind of discussed a few weeks ago with the other bill that prioritizes spending the money now with a heavy emphasis on rebuilding the city's infrastructure and redeveloping its crumbling buildings, that bill already has a lot of support from the Board of Aldermen. I know the 4 alders are sponsoring it. There's a 5th alder that hasn't put her name on it yet that has expressed interest to me in supporting that bill as well. So out of the 15 votes in the Board of Aldermen, there's at least 5 that seem to be favoring the previously introduced bill. So we've kind of got to see who can get the whip count up of votes to support their one bill over the other, because obviously the city can't turn around and try to spend all this money at once and all this money putting it into funds to spend over time. Something's going to have to give, whether it's a compromise on both sides or one bill is just going to win out.
Yeah, and Sean, we were talking about how confusing this is because this meeting is taking place in December. And of course, the ARPA funds need to be allocated by the end of this month. But this is not about the ARPA funds. This is the RAM settlement money, which does not have a deadline. You brought up the other bill with the ARPA funds. Where is the comptroller right now regarding that ARPA bill and those funds that do need to be allocated by December 31st?
And that's something I'm checking up on. I was hoping to get a conversation with Comptroller Green today. She asked that we reschedule it for tomorrow just so that way she could get all her numbers correct and accurate, which obviously we in the news appreciate as well. We want to reflect clear and accurate numbers to the public too. So in terms of how far along she is with signing off on those ARPA dollars, we're not sure. But just to remind the listeners again, last week, St. Louis City Mayor or the Board of Aldermen passed a bill allocating the remaining ARPA dollars. Really the big factor that remains here is how quickly Comptroller Darlene Green can sign off on all those allocation bills. A few weeks ago, she said there was still about $80 million outlining that she has to sign off on. But if she doesn't sign off on them by December 31st, that money goes back to the federal government. So we'll see where she's at when I am able to get a chance to speak with her, get an update on just how far along that is and how close the city is to allocating all of that money that they've received from ARPA.
Just from a logistical perspective, how difficult is it to sign things?
Listen, I work in radio for a reason. I do not work in finance, so I'm sure it's a
Hey.
little more logistically complicated than
Sure.
what you would see, LeBron James.
Yeah, I've
signing
seen him
stack
sign a bunch of
posters
photos.
where-
Yeah, like in
Yeah,
10
they-
seconds.
Exactly. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, and you would hope it's more complicated than that when we're talking about, allocating what for ARPA $500 million across the city of St. Louis. You'd hope there's a little more than just trying to get your signature down on a piece of paper as quickly as possible.
Sean, just from your discussions that you've had with the mayor, the comptroller, members of the Board of Aldermen, we know Tashara Jones and Aldermanic President Megan Green seem to have their camp. The other camp seems to be the Kara Spencer side. Are those kind of the two camps, or are there multiple camps of people making proposals and maybe don't fall into either Jones or Spencer's side?
I guess if we're dividing up into camps, there are three. Only two have introduced bills in terms of, the spending the money now versus setting up funds to spend the money over the long term. But if you had to make a third camp, I guess that would be the individuals that are open-minded, that don't have a hard position one way or another yet on how they would spend the Rams money, be it all at once or be it over time. And I think those camps do genuinely believe that there are benefits to both. There is a benefit to, a financial shot in the arm to the city, along with ARPA, in a post-COVID world where you can do a lot of good work to repair streets, repair buildings that are crumbling, and fix up the city fast, versus what we're seeing in this bill that's introduced, trying to set up things like, fixing the water lines and the infrastructure still, but also setting up affordable childcare. That could be the difference for someone deciding whether or not they want to, work in St. Louis City or work somewhere in St. Louis County. Affordable post-secondary opportunities if, you're thinking about where to move your family. And it's like, what, if I live inside the city limits, we could get a discount on a college education or a trade school education. So I think that third camp genuinely does see the benefits of both sides. And that's why I think these two bills are interesting to monitor moving forward, is which kind of garners more support over time and whether or not one can secure enough votes to get passed. Now, one thing to keep in mind as well for the other bill that spends the money all at once, obviously with St. Louis City Mayor Tashara Jones being behind the bill to set up the funds, they would need more than just a passable majority. They would need a veto-proof majority to overcome a veto from St. Louis City Mayor Tashara Jones.
All right, Sean Malone, we appreciate your reporting. We know you will have more of it over the air here on the Odyssey app and, of course, on KMOX.com. Thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
Sean Malone from, our KMOX reporter with us here covering that story. Transform STL. That is the name of the act that has been proposed. And again, like he said, many, many steps ahead to get this thing actually passed. But what we do know is the end result better be some real, actual transformation for St. Louis. At least something we can point to and be proud of.
I hope so. It's hard to keep track of all the different ideas, and I do feel it's impossible to know what's actually going to happen at this moment.
Still have tickets to give away Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You want to go see them December 18th? You got to be listening for your opportunity to win, which is going to be soon, I swear. Also, hey, there's a report. It looks like Bill Belichick is finalizing a contract to be the head coach at North Carolina.
Was that where his girlfriend goes?
Well, no, she's just out of college.
Oh, maybe her friends are still there? I don't know. This might be cronyism.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Okay.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Life without hearing aids can be frustrating.
Andy, did you hear what she just said?
No, I'm sorry. What did I miss?
I said I got the promotion, Dad. I thought you would be excited.
You're missing out on the important moments of your life because you just can't hear them. It's time to try the Jabra Enhanced Select 500, our smallest, most advanced hearing aid. With proprietary speech clarity technology, even the most complex listening situations like a noisy restaurant are crisp and clear. And you can get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional care you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. Get Jabra Enhance over-the-counter hearing aids and stop missing the important moments. Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or NewboldToyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, write this number down or put it into your phone. 800-411-2215. The IRS is hiring more staff and cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to learn about our tax debt reduction programs and how to stop the collection efforts. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or years of unpaid taxes, even if you're already in a payment plan, we can help. Through special IRS programs, you may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a fraction of what you owe. Tax Relief Helpers has helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. No matter what amount you or your business owe to the IRS, call our Tax Relief Hotline now for a free consultation and see what savings you may qualify for. Don't tackle the IRS on your own, and don't risk having your wages, Social Security, even your pension seized. Call now. Call 800-411-2215. That's 800-411-2215. 800-411-2215.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession. It's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too, to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose, paid for by Bayer.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that St. Louis Composting has an array of STA-certified compost, soil, and mulch products that are available by the bag or by the truckload? It's the healthy, all-natural, cold-weather dyed for your garden and lawn. For more information, visit stlcompost.com.
Conversations that hit close to home, from schools to your pocketbook. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Bells will be ringing.
Well, the headlines continue around the United Healthcare CEO shooter, Luigi Mangione. He is in custody. He had an outburst going in to court yesterday. Well, we know that he was identified in at McDonald's in Western Pennsylvania, and that's ultimately led to his arrest. And I, Ranj, for some reason thought it was an employee. And I think the reason why I thought it was an employee, because it was the employee who called 911. However, there was, as there always is at every McDonald's, a group of regulars. This is a group of older men, regulars, who show up and eat McDonald's. And
they probably play cards or something, don't they?
I don't know if they play cards. It's a little early for cards. This would probably... I think it's a newspaper
If you're an old
time.
person, There is no such thing as too early. They wake up at 3 a.m.
I was meant to be an old man at a diner at 5 a.m. because I've been up since 3, 100%. At any rate, this group of regulars, they assembled pre-dawn Monday at McDonald's just off the interstate in Western Pennsylvania. And one of the guys at the table said, quote, "Don't that look like the shooter from New York?" And Larry, it was Larry's friend who said that, and Larry said, "He probably heard us." And let me just tell you, if you've ever been around regulars at a breakfast place, especially a older group of regulars, he probably did hear them.
Well, if he did hear them,
He didn't get up.
Why are you still there?
He didn't. I know. And the thing is, so the guy went over to, they said he was only 10 feet away. He was near the restrooms. He had a mask on, a backpack. He was on his laptop, had a hat on, went over and told one of the employees at the McDonald's, who called authorities. The police showed up and arrested him. But I love that it was a group of regulars. When we talk about institutions in our country, and yes, we talk about the government, but there's also institutions like Bowling League and the Rotary Club and sitting on your porch and getting to know people. The regulars at McDonald's are one of the finest American institutions.
Okay. And let's slow down over there.
I love it.
And you know that the one guy who said he probably heard us is correct, because if you have a group of old men sitting together,
Huh?
It looks like the guy. Huh?
What?
What guy?
What
the
guy?
shooter.
Don't look. And then they all look.
The whole
table. That guy?
You know, dude.
The guy with the brown hat on?
There is no world.
Yeah.
There is no world where four old men?
It just said a group of regulars.
A group of old men are sitting around a table being quiet.
No.
Because they can't hear. They're going to have to speak up.
And what's funny
They're
is
going to have to go to the audiology center.
The guy who said it first was kind of joking. You know, like, hey, that kind of looks like, it is.
Well, he's got a story to tell for the rest of his days.
He found him. And it's all we know is he's Larry's friend.
But you know what's been another fascinating thing about this shooter is it's been like the one time there has been a crime and a guy's on the run.
Yeah.
Where people aren't really afraid. Yeah. And also trying to figure out, like, why is he doing what? So why, for example, does he still have the same jacket with him? Like, what people are planning out and gaming out how they would have gotten away with it.
I think it's because some parts of his escape are really extraordinary. He obviously planned out, and they still don't know how he knew that the CEO would be right there on the street when he was. He was able to get on an e-bike, like literally escape on an e-bike, get to Central Park, ditch the backpack, and take a bus. And the thing with the bus is you can pay with cash and you don't have to show any ID. All of that was really smart, how he managed to shoot someone in the early morning in Manhattan and got out. And you think this is someone who knew what he was doing. But then to keep all of the evidence with you, to carry the manifesto and the gun, why would he not dump that in the Central Park with the backpack?
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know if sometimes these people want to be caught. Sometimes, I don't know if he thought, I want them to know I did it.
Maybe there's an element of that, because if it is in fact a 3D printed gun, we know it was a ghost gun. So he assembled it himself, or somebody else had done that and he bought it from them. But if it's a 3D printed gun, that to me would indicate it'd be pretty easy to break down too and dispose of it. So, like, why do you still have it?
Yeah.
Why do you still? It's not a weapon made of metal.
And I don't know. I mean, some of this because there was so much controversy when they published the Unabomber's manifesto, because they were afraid it would inspire other killers and domestic terrorists, which is ultimately, I don't know if he's legally a domestic terrorist or not. I know it has to depend on political motivation and so forth. But for practical purposes, he's a domestic terrorist. And they were afraid of publishing that it would inspire copycats. So I don't know if he had this fascination with the Unabomber that he thought, well, if I get caught, I want them to know my genius type thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Even though
his
it's really stupid to get caught.
His manifesto was like a paragraph.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't what the 35,000 words or whatever
Sure.
that Ted Kaczynski had.
And I don't know. And I don't know if he was like, well, I want them to know it was me, not pin it on anyone else, because he is an unusual character. Although, like Ted Kaczynski, he was an Ivy Leaguer, right? He wasn't insane.
I know he went to Michigan. Did he go to another school, like grad school? He must have, because he
Kaczynski?
was, yeah.
I thought he went to
He was
Harvard
a professor.
for a bit.
Maybe he did, but I know he was at Michigan for something.
And he went at a very young age, the Unabomber did. I think he graduated at 20.
What you can do when you're smart, huh?
Oof. Well, anyway,
Don't go that route.
Shout out to the old man regulars at McDonald's, an American institution.
I mean, they're just old guys hanging out.
I love it. It's my dream. That's what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, you should be. Hanging out at McDonald's with other old people.
Love it.
Amy Marks Course, Chris Ranji. When we come back, formerly from CNN, he is the author of a daily political newsletter, So What? And also host of Politics Aside on the Monumental Sports Network. Chris Cillizza joins us next on KMOX.
Happy holidays from all of us at the Audiology Center, where hearing is our passion.
Happy holidays to you, Dr. Colleen Bosler, and everyone at the Audiology Center. You have some important information for our listeners as we approach the end of the year and the holidays.
At the end of the year, all the new hearing aid companies come out with their models for the next year. And oh my gosh, Charlie, there have been major advancements in technology. Just in time for the holidays. With so many social gatherings around this time, you want to be able to hear and enjoy visiting with loved ones. You don't want to miss out this holiday season, so please call today and make an appointment so you can hear better tomorrow.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. Folks, the Audiology Center has 3 convenient locations: St. Peter's, Creve Coeur, and Florissant. Make a reservation today, 636-441-7470 or the audiologycenterstl.com.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home, we have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's Enhanced Network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
At 12:30, we've got 38 degrees downtown at the Arch. The rebels that toppled Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria say they want a unified, inclusive country. Syrians say that for the first time in years, people feel free to speak openly. Restaurant owners in Damascus opened up again after closing for a few days.
I'm very optimistic. Very optimistic. We couldn't express ourselves openly before. The country was full of injustice and oppression. That's over now.
This afternoon, sunshine, high 43. For tonight, partly cloudy, low of about 30. For tomorrow, a few flurries in the morning. Otherwise, just cold with a high of about 40. Real feels in the 20s. Sponsored by Ambassadors of Harmony a cappella chorus. It's 38 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Don't miss the Ambassadors of Harmony Sounds of the Season Christmas Spectacular, December 13th through the 15th at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now at AOH.org. Before they're gone, it's the Ambassadors of Harmony's Christmas Spectacular.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember. Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right. They handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-221-6319. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319 or oxcarcare.com.
The Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for our holiday food drive. The show will be out at Hardee's in St. Peter's on Friday, December 20th, starting at 1 p.m. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. The Dave Glover Show, live at Hardee's in St. Peter's. Get all the details about the campaign or to make an online donation, head to the KMOX.com events page now. It's a Thursday night of baseball and football. First up, it's a Countdown to Opening Day show, beginning at 6 with Matt Pauling and Mike Claiborne, immediately followed by the Rams 49ers game. Hear it all right here on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Here's how Time Magazine and other commentators describe the economy. I'm leaving to my successor. And there's a number of these quotes. President-elect Trump is receiving the strongest economy in modern history, which is the envy of the world.
It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. That is President Joe Biden, who's got a little over a month before he is out of office, and President-elect Donald Trump will take over. We've got just a bit of time here with you, and we're glad you're with us. And it is time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. You may have seen or heard our next guest on CNN for quite some time. He was there. Now the author of a daily political newsletter called So What? Also the host of Politics Aside, which is on the Monumental Sports Network. It is political commentator Chris Cillizza with us on KMOX. Chris, good to talk to you. How are you?
Hey, guys, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well,
I feel like St. Louis is my adopted hometown because my wife is from St. Louis. So I have a close connection.
That's what we heard. We heard you're really into Provel and into...
I will tell you that I literally, before I got on with you, was looking at Goldbelly to order Emo's Pizza here in Washington.
Wow. That is
How much does it
impressive.
cost to get an Emo's Pizza out there?
No comment.
All right. Worth it, though. Worth it, though.
So I was scrolling through some of the videos that you've made recently. We just played a clip from President Joe Biden saying that President-elect Donald Trump will inherit a very strong economy. And you pointed this out several days ago that we really haven't seen a lot of President Biden publicly lately. And you had three reasons why. Can you break down why we haven't seen the president?
Sure. And I will say, look, in the last 48 hours, we've actually seen him a lot. That clip you played was from an economic policy speech. So I think he might have gotten the word that he hasn't been around enough. Yeah. So I think there's three basic reasons, and I'll do it quickly. One, he's 82 years old. There's a reason that he wasn't the nominee for president, because in that June 27th debate with Donald Trump, he looked old and out of it. And I think his aides are trying to protect him. You know, and they don't want him to make a big gap or slip up in the last 40 days of his presidency that's going to further define his legacy in a negative way. So I think that's at least part of it. Number two is Joe Biden, at least among a lot of Democrats in Washington, they blame him for losing the election. Now, I think that's actually a little bit unfair. Sure, he had a part to play in it. He stayed in and ran for a second term when he probably shouldn't have. He stayed in for a month after that debate when he probably shouldn't have. But I don't think it's all his fault. But the point is, that's the narrative that's taken hold. And I think he's not someone that Democrats are clamoring to have appear in public life. And the last one is Donald Trump is everywhere, right? He's at Mar-a-Lago with Justin Trudeau. He's at the reopening of Notre Dame and Emmanuel Macron. He's making tariff threats. He's appointing people. So the bigger Trump is, it makes Biden look smaller, even though obviously Trump is not president yet and Joe Biden still is.
Let's try a thought exercise on that. A lot of people have argued that what President Biden should have done is say, I'm going to run. I've won. I'm a one-term president. I'm only here to stop the bleeding of the previous administration, argue whatever you want to, and then hand the reins over to somebody else. That had he done that early on, things would have been different for the Democratic Party. Do you agree with that idea?
Well, you know me too well in that I have a soft spot for the hypothetical when it comes to politics. So of course I can't know for sure, but what I think is clear is that had he done that, I think you would have had an open primary process, which the Democrats obviously did not have this time. It was sort of Kamala Harris was the only person who put her name forward, and she was the pick. I think an open primary process would have helped. She might have won an open primary process. She's a female, black woman. I said female woman who's the vice president of the United States. She has a lot to recommend her in a Democratic primary. So she might have won it anyway, but I think the way it worked, Biden looking old and out of it, but still running. Then 3 weeks where he doesn't get out. Then it sort of is just handed to her, even though she didn't really run for it in any meaningful way. I don't think that sat well with a lot of people. The Democrats were fine. The Democratic base was fine with it. It's the people they needed in the middle who I think thought, that's not really how I want things to work. So would they have won? I don't know. Would they have had a better chance at winning? I think we can, based on what we now know, comfortably say that.
We've been following, obviously, the Trump administration's picks, President-elect Trump's picks for whether it be the Tulsi Gabbard pick or the Matt Gaetz pick for Attorney General, which got shot down. One of the bigger picks, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Trump's selection, it's gotten a lot of attention because it seemed to be pretty negative news that this would not go through. But now it seems that maybe some senators might be relenting. Where are we with the probability that Pete Hegseth may or may not become the Secretary of Defense? Because I knew even at one point last week, Ron DeSantis' name was floated out, but now I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you're in the news business like we are, you grow accustomed to how fast things change now. You know, it used to be like a week or two long process. Now it's an hour or two long process. So what happened? I think that Hegseth realized that just kind of meeting with senators behind closed doors, which is normally how you do this thing, and is still an important part of a confirmation process, wasn't enough. That he had to lean, to the extent he could, lean on Donald Trump, lean on Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, lean on anyone who is a high-profile surrogate of his to say, hey, you got to come out and say, we want Pete Hegseth to be the defense secretary, or otherwise Pete Hegseth's not going to be the defense secretary. So I think he's in better shape today than he was if we had talked a week ago. I guess I would count myself as still slightly skeptical that Hegseth makes it all the way. Remember, we have to wait until January before there are confirmation hearings in front of the Senate Armed Services Committee, and long before there's a vote. Could something come out during that time? Could he lose momentum as fast as he's gained it in the last week? Absolutely. So I'm still I just think the news cycles move so fast now that we have to be careful about pronouncing Pete Hegseth survived a near-death political experience and now he's going to be fine. In fact, he might be, but who knows on January 8th, for example, whether we know more than we did before, whether there's a senator or two who we thought was going to be for him, who's not going to be for him. I just think we have to kind of, because it moves so fast, we have to be careful about making pronouncements. Other than, yes, today he's in better shape than he was 7 days ago.
How much difficulty will Tulsi Gabbard have?
Really good question. She benefits, I think, a little bit from the attention that's been paid to Pete Hegseth, to Matt Gaetz. Obviously, that was a short-lived 8-day nomination, being paid to RFK Jr. There's only so many nominees that are going to get that amount of attention, and usually, honestly, it's negative attention. And there's only so many nominees that Republicans are going to have 53 Republican senators come January, are going to vote against the president of their party's pick. She is a very unconventional pick. Like, I covered her when she was a Democrat from Hawaii. She's obviously moved much more Trumpy in the last 4 years or so. She does not have significant experience in the intelligence community. She was not on the intelligence committee when she was in the House. But she may benefit from the fact that other people are sort of sucking the political other nominees are sucking the political oxygen out. You never kind of know. In this situation, you don't want the spotlight to shine on you for too long, honestly. You kind of want it maybe shines for a couple of days and then it moves on. And I don't know if she will wind up being – I think there will be at least one – history suggests at least one more cabinet nominee will probably not make it all the way to a confirmation vote, or the confirmation vote will fail. I would say she's in that conversation, as is Hegseth, as is RFK Jr. Those are at least at right now, the likeliest suspects.
Yeah, as questionable as Matt Gaetz was, as concerning as he was, there were actually some people who said Matt Gaetz is bad, but I'm really concerned about Tulsi Gabbard and national security. Yeah. Does the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad put her name back in the spotlight again when it would have maybe faded a bit?
Yes, it is not great for her, right? Because it to the extent Republican senators know anything about Tulsi Gabbard, and I always say, look, people in the Senate don't much concern themselves with the House. There is a unique kind of snobbery when it comes to that. So they don't know a ton, but to the extent they know anything, it's probably that in 2017, when she was a member of Congress as a Democrat, she went and met secretly with Bashar al-Assad. It was never really explained why she did that. Certainly wasn't a formal diplomatic mission from the United States. So to the extent that Bashar al-Assad and Syria are in the news, it brings up that meeting and why did she do it? And it raises more questions about it. So yeah, that is not, for Tulsi Gabbard, that is very unfortunate timing that the Syrian rebels overtook Damascus, and Bashar al-Assad fled the country and went to Russia, which, by the way, Tulsi Gabbard has been criticized for making comments too friendly to Russia as well. I don't want to say it's a toxic move for her, but it is not, certainly not what she and her advisors would have wanted to happen in recent weeks.
Talking with Chris Cillizza here on KMOX. And one of the ventures that you're part of right now is Monumental Sports Network. And it was just yesterday, I believe, you're playing some putt-putt with James Clyburn. So what exactly is it? What is part? Tell us about your show, Politics Aside, or your segment, Politics Aside, on Monumental Sports.
No, look, I can't believe they gave me a whole show either, as opposed to a segment, but they did. Yeah. Basically, look, I've spent a long time. I worked for the Washington Post and CNN. I've spent 20 plus years in mainstream media. And, breaking news, politics sometimes can be depressing. Everybody hates Washington. Everybody thinks that politics is broken. And I thought I had written a book in 2023 about presidential presidents and the sports they played, loved, and spectated, and what that could tell us about them. And I wanted to dig deeper into that, honestly. Are there common ground that we can find among these people, or is it all just bad? And so sports is one way. I'll give you an example. You mentioned Jim Clyburn from South Carolina. He's been in Congress forever, African-American Democrat, quite liberal. And we were talking about golf. That's why we were doing putt-putt in the Capitol Rotunda. So we were talking about golf. And I said, do you play with Republicans? And he said, yeah, I play with Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator from South Carolina, all the time. What? He's like, Lindsey and I are good friends. We play all the time. And I just think that's the kind of thing. These ultimately, we forget this. These are people. And just because you don't agree on everything doesn't mean you can't agree on anything. And that's what I'm trying, through the lens of sports, that's what I'm trying to remind people of.
That's a lot of fun. Any other, the golf with Clyburn, obviously very cool. What's another one?
I've got a great one. Tomorrow, I'm doing mixed martial arts with Sharice Davids from Kansas. She represents Kansas City.
Nice.
Okay. Yes, so she is like a decorated mixed martial artist, and I am not.
So you're not going to fight her, are you?
Should be. Well, I think she's going to show me some moves.
Okay.
But I will tell you, I played goalie. This guy Pete Stauber from Minnesota, he went to Lake Superior State, was a standout hockey player, and the producers on the show were like, "Oh, Chris will just put on the goalie gear and you can shoot at him." So I did that. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that they're going to sort of be like, "Why don't you dislocate his shoulder? Let's see what that looks like." So,
well, when you come to St. Louis and take somebody on here, let us know. We'll come watch.
You will know because the toasted ravioli industry will be prepping
of course.
For me.
Yeah.
Yes.
They won't have enough. They won't have enough of it. Can't make enough. Hey, Chris, it was really great talking to you. We appreciate you coming on. We hope to get you on sometime again soon. It'd be great.
Happy to do it. Let me know.
Chris Cillizza, political commentator. He is now with his own political newsletter called So What? And the show we were just talking about on Monumental Sports Network is called Politics Aside. Guess what we've got for you?
Oh my gosh, please. It cannot be the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
It is.
No. Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious
We
right
have
now?
2 tickets.
Wow.
To give away to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra December 18th at Enterprise Center. And if you want to go, you need to be caller number 7 to the contest line. 314-955-1120, 955-1120. Good luck. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When you want to make junk disappear, leave it where it is. I've got a partner who lives down the street from you, and we're anxious to come to your rescue. It doesn't matter what we have to climb over, walk through, or move out of the way. All you have to do is point.
We make space for possibilities.
We'll find a new family who'll love the items that still have value, even if it is sentimental value.
There's someone out there who will love it, and we'll find them.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
You're going to be amazed at how fast we get there.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Roger, tell us about your experience working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We just had a very fine experience with the work that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath had done on our home. They had taken out walls and put in a new kitchen and a new bath and did it in an extremely timely manner with some of the finest workers that we've been associated with. Easy to work with. They did what we asked them to do. And each of the subs that they had, whether it was putting in the bath, the shower stalls, and they came in a timely manner. plumber was here on time. The electricians were here when they said they would be here, and things just worked out really well for us. And I've done it myself, and it'll probably take me 2 years.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to the practice. He joins Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brasati, and Royer as the Doctors' Doctors. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com. Say it forward, say it backwards. It's always the same. Zero Res.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-90000.
Hey everyone, this is Al Petroy with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and you're listening to the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Congratulations to Melinda.
From Jerseyville.
We call it Jersey Thrill. Melinda from Jerseyville is going to go see the good old Trans-Siberian Orchestra December 18th. Tickets are on sale if you want to go check them out. Again, happening at Enterprise Center, and we will have tickets to give away tomorrow and Friday.
We got a message from a listener who said, I listened about the McDonald's regulars. That was in the conversation regarding the CEO killer who was outed. They saw him, they spotted him, and were able to let people know.
Do we know what he was having to eat?
We don't know what he was eating.
I bet it's chicken nuggets.
Listened about the McDonald's regulars. Our grandfather used to take us to a breakfast place, and we would sit with all the old guys. My cousin and I dubbed it the Liar's Table.
Uh-huh. I wonder if that group that spotted him has a name for themselves.
You would think so. You generally give yourself a name if you're a group. I've got a lot of groups with names.
How big is Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is where they found him? Because you would think there have to be other places to hang out than McDonald's. Not that there's anything wrong with McDonald's. I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you go to a good breakfast spot?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
McDonald's is a good breakfast spot. What are you talking
McDonald's
about?
is
Have
a
you been there in the
fast
morning?
food
Have you
place.
smelled
It's
hash
great.
browns?
Have you smelled any
and,
breakfast place?
McGriddles?
Have you smelled like Kingside or Southwest or
Well, I have,
any
but
of the great breakfast
I
spots
think-
in St. Louis?
I don't
Chris's Pancakes?
I don't appreciate you poo-pooing the arches. The Golden Arches are wonderful in breakfast.
If the Golden
My
Arches-
grandparents used to take us there for
look,
breakfast.
they can't serve their breakfast past 10:30. Give me a break.
I think they can now.
No, they did for a while, but then they stopped doing it.
You know why? Because it's fresh. You can't make fresh breakfast all day.
That doesn't make any sense.
When you have to switch to burgers, you got to commit.
Switch
to
to
the
them.
burger. You got to commit to
Switch
the
to
burger.
them.
Yeah.
It's all in the same freezer.
You don't get it.
I do get it.
You don't. He doesn't get the Golden Arches.
I would love to go into a McDonald's kitchen, and I want them to show me just how difficult it is to do the turnover from the breakfast at 10:30 to lunch, and why it's so difficult to go heat up a sausage, egg, and cheese
If you
biscuit.
worked at McDonald's, we need you to text and call right now because we're almost, the show's over. Basically, it's too late. But we would have loved to hear from you.
Don't you want to know how they were like? Oh, we have to do the turnover. We have to. It's too difficult.
I
How?
get
Why
it.
is it difficult? You
Because you
cook,
got to switch out. Like
you
all
prepare
right,
everything the same
let's
way.
Get the fries ready.
You throw it in that heater.
Listen, if you've never had a greasy cardboard box with those beautiful hash browns in them, the oval
They're
shaped
great.
hash brown, oh, that will go right through you.
Well.
If you are constipated, you get
Okay, it's not like
breakfast.
that.
It's pretty oily.
That might happen to you. It is not. It is not oily
Yes,
that bad. It's
the
not that.
hash browns, they soak through cardboard.
It
Honestly,
isn't.
I
It
think
isn't
it's
a cardboard. It's a paper.
If you need a little movement in the morning, get yourself
Okay.
a cup of coffee at McDonald's and some hash browns, and you will be flushed.
Are you finished? This show is finished for the day. Our
I'm just
thanks
helping the
to
people.
our thanks to Missouri State Senator-elect David Gregory, Kyra Bobinet, doctor, telling us about our brain rot.
Oh, that was good.
Matt, really good. So go back and listen to it on the Odyssey app. Matt Pauley checking in from the winter meeting. Sean Malone on Transform STL. and Chris Saliza joining us. So anything you missed, and there's a lot of good stuff today, go back and get it on the Odyssey app. Listen to the show tomorrow when we come back at 10 o'clock. And Cardinals baseball.
Take a breath, White Ocean.
And what else? Nothing
it.
else. Oh, leave us a voice message.
Please do. We'd love to hear from you.
That's Amy Markscores. I'm Chris Ranji. We're going to hang out for an hour with the Dave Glover Show next. Goodbye. Because if you have a group of old men sitting together, huh? It looks like the guy. Huh? What guy?
What
the
guy?
shooter.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver